Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Before we go anywhere, do me one favor. Notice your shoulders. Notice your breath. Feel how your body has been bracing all day against a world that asks for pieces of you it did not earn. Here's the truth you came for. You're not difficult. You're discerning. And the reason too many people feel like static against your skin is because God tuned you to a signal most don't carry yet. Picture this. You walk into a room like a perfectly tuned piano placed beside a crowd of out-of-tune instruments. Nothing is wrong with the piano. Its purity just reveals the noise. That's you. You don't chase the wrong song. Your spirit refuses it. You wondered for years, why do I feel heavy after simple conversations? Why do my lungs tighten in certain places? Why do I need to step outside just to breathe? Listen. Your body has been the faithful messenger. It's telling you what your spirit already knows. Your energy is sacred, and heaven has been guarding it. Some of you learned to call that protection loneliness. Some of you tried to drag yourselves back into rooms that made your soul flicker. You thought endurance was virtue, but endurance without discernment is erosion. And you, chosen one, were never born to erode. There is a pattern God uses with those He trusts with real weight. Before expansion, He narrows your circle. Before revealing, He refines. Before sending you into the crowd, He trains your ears to recognize His whisper beneath the noise. That narrowing hurts. It feels like loss, like delay, like being passed over. It is none of those things. It is heaven placing velvet ropes around what is rare. Take a breath. Feel how your nervous system softens when I say this. It's not that people are bad, it's that your assignment is exact. Precision requires atmosphere. Oil won't mix with water, not because water is evil, but because the formula is different. Your calling has a formula. Think about the places you left and couldn't explain why. The job that looked perfect but made your chest tight. The friend group that loved the version of you who kept dimming your own forecast of the soul's weather. The dates where your spirit went quiet, although the conversation was fine on paper. Heaven was editing. Heaven has an eye for lighting. I need you to hear this with your whole being. Sensitivity is not fragility. Sensitivity is instrumentation. It's night vision in a world that prefers fluorescent distractions. It's the gift that lets you read the room without a single word spoken. Yes, it means you'll step out early sometimes. Yes, it means you'll disappoint people who wanted easy access to you. But access is not love. Alignment is. Crowds don't simply take your time, they tax your clarity. Too many voices create fog, and fog makes you doubt what you already know. That doubt is expensive. It costs you mornings you could have moved in power, and nights you could have slept in peace. So God, who knows your margins better than you do, has been keeping your margins protected. You thought the closed doors meant rejection. They were actually recalibration. You thought the slow season was punishment. It was a clean room where heaven sterilized your purpose from contamination. Opinions, projections, envies, and expectations that had nothing to do with the blueprint in your spirit. And about that blueprint, it keeps pulling you towards stillness. Notice how your best directions arrive in quiet places, on a walk at dusk, in the car after everyone's gotten out, in the shower when the day finally lets go. Notice how your spirit starts arranging furniture inside you when the noise dies down. That is not your imagination. That is your command center coming online. Here's what actually happens when you're around too many people for too long. Your spirit begins scanning micro-expressions, unspoken motives, grief that has nowhere to go, the subtle angle of a compliment that wasn't. It's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. After a while, your circuitry overheats. You think you're being antisocial, but really, you're an overqualified lighthouse trying to run in a thunderstorm with every ship flashing SOS. Lighthouses don't sprint, they stand, they shine. The ships adjust. I want to free you from an old lie. If I was stronger, I could handle everyone. Strength isn't carrying 10 conversations that don't carry you back. Strength is knowing which table dilutes your anointing and getting up, kindly, cleanly, without a speech. Your life is moving under a different clock. Divine timing looks slow to impatient eyes, but to trained eyes it's choreography. The pauses are placements. The silences are signal checks. The sudden exits are fire drills that taught you where the real exits are. And every time you honored that nudge to leave early, heaven wrote down, stewardship passed. So here is your reframe. You are not bad with people. You are excellent with purpose. You're not closed off. You are curated. And curation is what museums do with priceless art, not what fragile people do with fear. Let's lean in even closer, because the deeper truth is this. Every moment you've been pulled away from the crowd has been less about rejection and more about refinement. You've noticed it. After gatherings, even the harmless ones, you don't just walk away tired, you walk away altered. Something lingers on you that isn't yours. The sighs people never breathed out, the envy tucked beneath their compliments, the sadness behind their laughter. It tries to cling, but dear chosen one, what others call oversensitivity is heaven's alarm system inside you. You are not broken for feeling too much. You are wired for discernment. This is why God has been so protective with your placement, why He allowed doors to close without explanation, why conversations dried up that once flowed easily. Every separation, even the ones that stung, was a cleansing, a recalibration, because the assignment on your life cannot survive constant contamination. Think of it like this. A flame surrounded by too much wind doesn't grow, it flickers out. But a flame sheltered in the right space becomes a fire that can't be ignored. That is what God has been doing with you, cupping His hands around your light until it's strong enough to withstand any weather. And this explains why certain rooms feel heavy to you. You don't need to hear the gossip to know it's there. You don't need someone to confess envy to feel it pressing against your chest. Your spirit is fluent in languages most people haven't learned yet. And when your frequency meets theirs, the dissonance tells you everything you need to know. Oil and water never hated each other. They just weren't designed to mix. You have tried to explain this to others before. They've told you you're being dramatic, too guarded, too picky. But what they call picky, heaven calls precise. What they see as distance is actually preservation, because not everyone can sit that close to the soundboard of your soul. And let's be honest, you've wrestled with it. Nights where you wondered, am I isolating myself? Am I sabotaging connection? But then, in the quiet, you feel it. The stillness settles in like an answer. In solitude, your vision sharpens, your creativity wakes up, and your spirit exhales. That peace has always been the proof. Loneliness scratches at you, but solitude strengthens you. You know the difference. There is something else happening too. The more you awaken, the more separation becomes inevitable. It's not that you've suddenly become less relatable, it's that the gap between your frequency and the world's has grown wider. You have been purified in ways you don't even fully recognize yet. And purity, by design, cannot blend with chaos without cost. So instead of asking, why can't I be around too many people? Start asking, why has God chosen to shield me from them? The question shifts everything. Because if you had stayed in certain circles, your spirit would have been dulled by their noise. And dulled spirits don't break curses. Dull spirits don't carry fire. Remember this, before God reveals His chosen ones, He always hides them like Moses in the desert. What feels like isolation is the oldest pattern of preparation. The wilderness is where leaders are carved. And you have been walking that wilderness path. Every time you thought life passed you by, heaven was actually pulling you aside. Not because you couldn't handle people, but because people couldn't handle what you carry. Your sensitivity is the very evidence that your spirit is alive. It's the radar that lets you detect storms before they arrive. It's the inner compass that points you back to stillness when your soul begins to wander. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost you crowded rooms. It will cost you the illusion of belonging. But it will return to you clarity, peace, and an unshakable alignment with the voice of God. So the next time you feel that weight pressing on you in a room, remember, it's not weakness, It's discernment. The next time you sense yourself pulling away, remember, you are not retreating, you are realigning. And the next time someone wonders why you don't come around as much, know this: you were never designed to dilute yourself for access. You were designed to be preserved for impact. Chosen one, your circle will be smaller, your path will be narrower, but your reach, when the time comes, will be vast. Because God doesn't hide treasures to waste them. He hides them to unveil them at the exact moment the world is ready. And when that unveiling happens, you won't be drained by the wrong rooms anymore. You'll be sent into the right ones, places where your sensitivity won't be a burden, but a blessing, where your presence won't feel like too much, but exactly what was missing. Until then, trust the velvet ropes, trust the edits, trust the pauses. Heaven knows the weight you carry, and heaven has been shielding it. Shielding you, not to limit your life, but to save it for its appointed hour. You are not antisocial. You are anointed. You are not closed off. You are consecrated. And that, my dear friend, is why too many people cannot come near you. And before we finish, I want to share something with you. As a musician, I've started a second channel, Simplified Serenity, with soaking worship instrumentals for prayer, stillness, and deep rest. If you felt peace here today, take it with you into your own quiet time with God. The link's in the description. I'd love to see you there.